Hello, everyone. Today, I want to share something that has shaken the entertainment world. A simple international press conference meant to be routine turned within minutes into a true media storm for one single reason: the unexpected sincerity of Kanyaman. From the very beginning, the atmosphere was intense. Cameras, lights, questions coming from everywhere. And Kan, with his usual elegance, walking into the room with that presence that always commands attention. Everything was going smoothly until a journalist asked the question that froze the entire room. "Are you a fraud?" Silence fell. Nobody breathed. Everyone expected a diplomatic, careful answer. But Kan is not that kind of person. He lifted his gaze, looked straight at the journalist, and repeated, "A fraud?" Then he said a sentence that completely changed the course of the event. "The only thing I try to do is be true to myself. If there is any deceit, it belongs to those who lack the courage to show themselves as they are. I have nothing to hide." Even the translator, surprised, hesitated before repeating his words. And in that moment, the tension dissolved. Smiles, looks of admiration, and a collective sense of relief spread across the room. Then Kan added with a touch of humor, "They always expect me to be serious, but sometimes laughter is the best defense." The press conference, which had begun with tension, turned into a more open and human conversation. But the difficult questions weren't over. Another journalist asked, "So, is everything the media says about you true?" Kan replied without hesitation, "Why not? But when we talk about invented stories, that's another matter. I've never needed a mask." His friends also later spoke to the press, saying, "That's the real Kan, direct, sincere, without hurting, and without hiding." And this authenticity didn't sit well with everyone. As soon as the event ended, several directors of major tabloids held an urgent meeting. For many of them, the sentence, "Those who deceive are those who lack the courage to be themselves," felt like a message aimed straight at them. Meanwhile, theories exploded on social media. Some even suggested that his words touched on old rumors involving Demet Özdemir, amplifying the discussion even more. When leaving the hotel, a reporter asked him, "Do you regret anything you said today?" And Kan, with a calm smile, replied, "The only thing I regret is not having had the courage to be myself earlier." That sentence closed the day and opened an international debate. Throughout the night, the media worked tirelessly. Can sincerity save a star? Or does it turn them into an easy target? Even the translator, whose reaction went viral, appeared in headlines. Sometimes the translator's silence is the loudest applause. What happened was not just a press conference. It was a declaration of identity. A reminder that in a world full of masks and appearances, some still dare to shine from within. And today, more than ever, Kanyaman proved to be one of those rare stars who shine through authenticity, not spectacle. And every time I think of Demet Özdemir, I feel a mix of deep respect, empathy, and a kind of melancholy for how she has been treated over time. While some continue dragging her name into old stories, she moves forward with admirable composure. Without falling into scandal or noise, I say it clearly. If anyone has shown class amid this media chaos, that person is Demet. It saddens me to see old photos or past phrases still being used to suggest links that no longer exist, as if Demet were forever tied to a chapter she herself chose to close. The reality is different. She has matured, grown, and built her path without depending on any past relationship. But many cannot tolerate that a woman can turn the page without staying trapped in the past. That's why they insist on inserting her into other people's stories, as if she were a decorative piece in someone else's life. What strikes me most is how Demet handles silence. It's not a cold silence, but an intelligent, serene, protective one. She doesn't fall for provocations, doesn't answer insinuations, doesn't fuel useless drama, and that bothers people. We live in a world where women are expected to explain everything: their emotions, their decisions, their absences. And still, Demet chooses not to expose herself, not to fight meaningless battles, to protect her stability. That quiet strength irritates because it cannot be manipulated. When I read comments saying that people took advantage of her good heart, I feel a sting. Because yes, Demet was genuine, transparent, giving, and that honesty, in a world full of strategies and masks, often comes at a price. She trusted, believed, opened herself sincerely, while others managed everything with convenient distance and ambiguous silences. Even if she never says it publicly, it's enough to see how she has distanced herself from certain environments to understand how deeply all of this affected her emotionally. What truly angers me is that they keep involving her in events that no longer belong to her, as if they can't stand the fact that she can move forward alone without looking back. Why do they keep naming her when her path is no longer tied to that other person? Why do they expect her to give explanations that no one else is asked to give? Maybe because Demet represents something uncomfortable. A woman who doesn't break, doesn't bow down, and doesn't need to display her wounds to make them real. Despite everything, she has built a solid career. Not just thanks to talent, but also discipline, consistency, and admirable professional ethics. While others played with ambiguity, she chose to speak only through her work. And although some insist on keeping her anchored to a past romance, real or invented, Demet has shown that her identity does not depend on any relationship. She is an artist, a creator, an independent woman who built her own space without asking for permission. What I value most in her is that blend of inner strength and sensitivity that few people keep after so much public scrutiny. Her silence is not weakness, it is dignity. Her distance is not rejection, it is self-protection. And even if some try to use her name to fuel gossip, she continues her life without letting anyone dictate her narrative. And if someone deserves peace, it's Demet. Not because she is a perfect symbol or because she suffered more than others, but because she has shown what it means to remain authentic amid pressure, rumors, and external expectations. She has nothing left to prove. The story others keep recycling does not define her. And maybe that's what bothers them most: the inability to accept that a woman can rebuild herself, shine, and move forward without clinging to the past.